Welcome back to another episode of the Rebuild Recovery podcast, where we talk all things recovery, not only about how to get clean, but how to stay clean and rebuild a life that is worth staying clean for. This is a lived experience podcast, and I believe recovery is not a destination, it is a lifestyle. And my name is Hayden Thorne. I have lived through addiction and I've walked the path of recovery, and I'm still going strong today, one choice at a time. And if you are listening to this, I reckon you are doing the same. So today we're going to talk about something that most men carry that no one talks about. The pain that sits behind the mask, the ache that hides you from everyone, and the shame and confusion that you think you are the only one dealing with. This episode is called Private Pain. This is the kind of pain that ruins recovery from the inside out. Not through the chaos, not through the crisis, but through silence. So let us get into it. Here is something that I wish more blokes knew in recovery, and I wish they understood. You can be clean, you can be working, and you can be showing up, and you can be doing everything right on the outside and still feel like something inside you is falling apart. Most men think if their outside life is stable, then their inside life should automatically follow, but it does not. Your outside life might be improving, but your inside life might be still full of unresolved noise, old trauma, old shame, old fear, old habits, old wounds. Recovery does not magically fix stuff you've been avoiding for 10 or 20 years. It just stops the damage from getting worse. You still need to deal with the emotional wreckage. You still need to build a new identity. You still need to learn how to feel. You still need to rebuild your confidence, and you still need to create a meaning in your life. This is where the private pain shows up loudest. It whispers in your mind, even when your life looks fine. It tells you that you're not enough. It tells you something is missing. It tells you that you are pretending, and it tells you are falling behind. It tells you that other people are doing better. But private pain is the experience of being clean, but still being fragile. It is the experience of feeling empty even when your life looks full. It is the experience of waking up and thinking, why am I still feeling like this? And most men never talk about it because they think talking about it means that they are failing in recovery. This is a lie that takes men out. Private pain grows in silence. Private pain grows in isolation. Private pain grows when men pretend that they are okay. And when the pain builds too high, the cravings for escape returns, because escape is what you trained your brain to do for years. This is why men relapse out of nowhere. Nothing happened, but everything inside hit a limit. Let's talk about the mask that men wear. Every bloke has one. Some men build it to survive. Some men build it to protect their pride. Some men build it because they do not know how to be vulnerable. Some men build it because they are scared of being judged. Some men build it because it feels easier just to pretend. The mask becomes a habit. It becomes automatic. You walk into a room, mask on. You go to work, mask on. You see family, mask on. You show up to a meeting and put the mask on. You see your kids, mask on. You message your mates, mask on. Over time, you forget what your real face even looks like. And here is the problem. The mask is strong enough to fool everyone except you. You know exactly what is underneath it. You feel the pressure of it every day. You feel the weight of it hiding. You feel the fear of being exposed, and you feel the anxiety that someone will see the cracks. You can fool others, but you cannot fool yourself. Some men even convince themselves that their mask is their personality. They say things like, I'm good, I am fine, I can handle it, and I don't need help. But if you sit with yourself quietly, no distractions, no phone, no job, no noise, you know the truth. The mask is not strength. The mask is avoidance. And here is the real danger. The longer you wear the mask, the more disconnected you become from who you really are. You lose your sense of self, you lose your emotional awareness, and you lose your ability to reach out. You lose your ability to be seen. You lose your ability to connect deeply. You lose connection with your own truth. You walk around looking solid, but feel hollow inside. This is what destroys recovery. Not always the drugs, not always the alcohol, not always the cravings, but the mask, the silence, the emotional loneliness. When a man cannot say, I am struggling, his brain eventually finds a different way to say it. And it never comes out clean. Private pain builds from pressure, and this pressure sits in your nervous system like a weight that never goes away. Let me break it down for you. You still have the pressure of your old pain, stuff that you pushed down because you had to, stuff that you never process, stuff that you still do not want to look at. You have the pressure of expectations, your family, your kids, your workplace, your mates, your partner, your sponsor, yourself. You have the pressure of comparison, looking around and thinking everyone else is doing better, thinking you should be further along, thinking you should not be still struggling. You have the pressure of unfinished emotions like guilt, shame, regret, fear, loneliness, grief. You have the pressure of your own mind, overthinking, ruminating, worrying about the future, beating yourself up about the past. You have the pressure of identity uncertainty. Who are you now? Who do you want to be? What is your purpose? Where does your life go from here? This pressure stacks up every day, every week, and every month until the load becomes too heavy to carry. This is where you crash emotionally. This is where you burn out. This is when anger shows up from nowhere. This is when anxiety creeps in, and this is when you start questioning yourself. This is when you pull away from others, and this is when you isolate. This is when relapse ideas start whispering again. Private pain thrives on pressure. It feeds off it. And the worst part, most men never let any of that pressure out. They bottle it up, push it down, act like it is not there. Inside, the pressure is building. Outside, you are acting like you are fine. This mismatch is dangerous. Men think the turning point in recovery is dramatic, rock bottom, hospital, police, overdose, losing everything. But the real turning point is much quieter. It's the moment when you stop pretending. It's the moment when you admit, I cannot do this alone. It is the moment when you tell the truth about how you feel, not the half truth, not the softened version, not the filtered version, the raw truth. It is the moment you admit that you are scared, that you feel lost, that you feel confused, that you feel disconnected, that you feel overwhelmed, that you feel like you are not where you want to be, that you feel like you're behind. This is the moment you finally say, I need guidance. This is the real turning point, the moment of honesty. Honesty cracks the shell of the private pain and lets healing in. Your old identity depended on silence. Your new identity depends on truth. Healing begins with honesty, but it continues through action. You cannot talk your way into healing. You cannot think your way into healing. You cannot wish your way into healing. You heal when you take consistent action, guided by truth, guided by values, guided by connection, guided by structure. When you tell the truth about how you feel, your nervous system finally gets relief. You're not holding onto it alone anymore. You are not pretending, you are not hiding, you are not carrying the load in silence. Your body relaxes, your mind clears, your emotions stop building pressure. Healing is not magic, it is alignment. Alignment between your inner world and your outer life. And this is why I always say the moment you stop lying to yourself, your entire life begins to rebuild. Healing does not come from talking big. Healing comes from the small, honest choices you make every single day. Telling the truth, reaching out, facing emotions, showing up, being consistent, doing the work, staying connected, keeping structure, building discipline, and owning your own story. This is the opposite of private pain. Private pain is hidden. Healing is open. Private pain is silent. Healing is connected. Private pain is denial. Healing is truth. A lot of men think recovery is just about staying clean, but it's not. Recovery is about becoming a man who does not need to escape anymore. Recovery is about becoming a man who stands strong in his truth, a man who knows who he is, a man who knows his values, a man who takes responsibility, who leads from the front, a man who shows up for his life, a man who builds, a man who protects his future, a man who is stable, a man who grows, and a man who becomes proud of himself again. This is what the Rebuild program is built for. It's not a motivational speech. It's not breathing exercises. It's not a feel-good talk. It's real identity work, real structure, real direction, real accountability, real discipline. And when men stop hiding and start rebuilding, their life changes fast. Not because everything gets easier, because everything just gets clearer. Clarity gets rid of confusion. Confusion is one of the main sources of private pain. When you know who you are and you know what matters, you know your next steps. You have support. You have structure, your mind stops attacking you, Private pain dissolves when your identity strengthens. If you're listening to this right now and thinking, this is me, do not ignore it. If you're clean but feel empty, you're not alone. If you're showing up on the outside and falling apart on the inside, you are not failing. You're just carrying private pain, and it's time to deal with it. You do not need to suffer in silence. You do not need to do this alone. You do not need to pretend anymore. Honesty is not weakness. Honesty is the start of your rebuild. You've already survived the hardest part: addiction, withdrawal, shame, chaos, and loss. Do not let silence take you out now. Do not let isolation destroy the progress you have made. Do not let pride stop you from reaching out. You are stronger than the story you are telling yourself. You are more capable than your past. Your future can be rebuilt. Your identity can evolve. Your confidence can grow. Your connection can deepen, and you can stop carrying private pain in silence and start speaking the truth. If this episode hit something inside for you, send me a message. Tell me what part of it landed. Tell me what you feel. Tell me what you're carrying alone. You don't need another crisis. You just need connection. You need direction. You need a plan. You need a coach. You need men around you who understand the load. And if you want help, reach out. I will point you in the right direction. This has been the Rebuild Recovery Podcast, and I will see you on the next episode.